What are you expecting, Daddy?
Hmm?
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sissy if you're new here, and my name is still Sissy if you're a returning subscriber. Today I have a very special guest who is my dad. Welcome, Daddy.
Thank you for having
This is
me.
my dad. I love him so much.
I love you too.
I don't know where I would be without him. I don't know where would I be.
You would not be there, maybe.
I probably wouldn't be here. So today I wanted to ask you, Daddy, about just your life in general. Where were you born? We're around where, actually I know because now we're in a village, but we're in Uganda. But I know you're not born in Uganda. I know because we've had this conversation many times over the years, ever since I was young. I would write down, taking the history, but then we would lose the papers. So I thought, let me make a video, and if I upload it on the internet, then it will be there forever. They say when something is on the internet, it's there forever. So I know that you were born in Kajara. Is that
Yes,
true?
yes, I was born in Kajara.
No,
that's where we lived, where
That's
my
where
parents
we lived.
lived, but I was born in a hospital, in Ishaka Hospital.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Yes, my mother was sick. That's why I'm lucky to have been born in hospital.
Otherwise,
women who are not sick would have to give birth in their homes. Yes.
And I know because she was sick, you were breastfed by your auntie.
Yeah, they were sharing. My aunt could breastfeed me, and my mother breastfeeds. Then they had to feed me on a special type of food.
And you had a special saucepan, is it?
Yeah, because they introduced I had to eat fish, and yet fish was untouched by many people at that time. So the beginning was not as good.
I remember. I mean, I've heard a bit of this story before.
That's why I suspected I became short.
Compared to your other siblings.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
the shortest in all your brothers and sisters?
I think so, yes. Yeah.
But also I heard that your dad was very tall. I never met him, obviously. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a baby, but your mom was not. So I think your gene was from your mom.
I think I adopted mommy, yes, that's true.
So
Yes.
don't start blaming the sickness.
The breastfeeding or
Yes.
what? Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then, because I know your umbilical cord was buried in Kajara in a plantation, even you showed us.
Yes, in Chabujimbi.
In Chabujimbi, we went.
Yes.
And then from there, now you migrated and came here to Uganda.
Yes.
So why did you do that, first of all? Why did they do that?
Okay, of course, you know, Ntungamo district generally was overpopulated, especially the area where we were, where my parents were. And they had to look for some new areas which had no people, and they wanted wider spaces to own cows, to do farming. So they got themselves in Uganda. And that's when I was 1 year old, because I was born in 1963. They came this way in 1964, yes.
Okay, and then you've been here ever since. And it seems like this is now our new village. Like it's our ancestral place now. But is it really not really?
No, this is the base. This is the base.
This is our new base.
Yes, because a place where you have been for 50 years, over 50 years. For me, I can ably say that I've been here for 60 years. Because I came when I was 60, rather when I was 1, now I'm 61. So you can imagine, 60 years, so this is the base, this is the home, yes.
That reminds me of my own self and my situation. You know Jaja Base, who you know?
Yes.
And I've done a video of Jaja Base, which you can see up here if you want. She's Edward's Jaja. And I think she's been in the UK for a similar time.
Yeah, so now
there becomes the base.
Yeah,
she's her new home.
She's the British, yes, now. Yes.
But you see, it's not the same for us. It's very hard for you to say, but for her, I think it is. So I guess when you live somewhere long enough, then that becomes home.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why you people, when you stay even less than 10 years, they are giving you citizenship in other countries. So really, I think it's justified.
Okay. And what do you remember from those days? What's your earliest memory that you can remember as a child?
Of course, how they shifted from how they migrated, I can't know anything about that. The earliest I can remember is that my father was working in
prisons.
In Mbarara.
Yeah.
And we were in Uganda. And up to 1972, I was 9 years old, and I had not gone to P1. It was when I was going to the 10th year that I came to primary 1. That's the time I remember. That's
So
when
was that normal? Why did you delay?
No, that time people used to take their time. You can imagine I had to ask why I'm not going to school. And they said, okay, by the way, I think you can start going, because my brothers were already going there. And my elder brother, Brazil, actually asked for a place in the second term. It was around, this is, I think, March. Then they said, okay, wait, beginning of second term. I said, but how will he manage? He told them, oh, no, this guy, I've been teaching him from home and all that. Then they brought me to the school. In the second term, I came with my cousin Mojuni, who had been there. He introduced me. Then I ran around. I roam Horo Primary School. Yeah, writing on a small piece of board. That was the experience I remember. And with our headmistress, Pauline, yeah. So that's the time
That's
I
the
remember.
earliest memory that you remember.
Yes, but later on, of course, as things developed, because that first term I was nearly the last. Out of the 43 children, I was, out of the 46 children in P1, I was the 43rd.
You even remember?
Yes. Then the following year, the following term, I became the 27th. And I was promoted to P2. Now
After 2 terms?
Yes. From P2, I began being the 10th, the 7th. I came down to 3rd. Then I became now among the winning ones. Now later, maybe I can mention, I just ended up having to go to the seminary. It was not really my intention, but somebody came to the class and asked, who of you wants to become priests? Then nobody was putting up a hand, and there were 2 people, one called Begumanya and myself. We put up hands. I said, yeah, me. I even forgot I had put up the hand. Then they wrote my name. So
now, which class was this?
That was in P4. So then they came back. After about 1 year, they came to remind me. They said, yeah, you asked to become a priest. Now we have been trying to find out. Yes, it looks you need to do an interview. I said, oh, okay. I went and they asked me some few questions. But the questions were about my family. Does your father love your mom? Is the home okay? And my colleague was not taken because they said the father had a second wife. So that was it. Now, yes, later on, now that's how I came to be invited to the seminary. St. Mukasa Preparatory Seminary, Mushanga.
In P5 or
And now,
P6 now?
Yeah, now they invite me to P6 and I start there. I remember going there, and the boarding life was really tough. You have left your people at home, and I first nearly cried, but yeah, we managed it.
Yeah.
And I think then continued, was performing well. Went senior 1 in Ichitabi Seminary.
Again, because you were in seminary, you went
Yes,
to seminary?
there, because I was already there. And because we were being shaped according to that line, I felt, yes, this is where I belong. And I could not tell anybody that it was not my intention to come.
It was too late now.
Now it was too late. I also started feeling, yes, I belong there. Yes, but we kept doing well. It was just general secondary education, and it was good. But after some time, I think it was in senior 6, somehow there were some situations where I was advised that I should try my talents elsewhere. That I didn't seem to have the vocation of priesthood. And as they advised me so, I never regretted, or I said, I think that's God's plan. For me, I followed. And
but would you say, Daddy, that I feel like you have such a strong spiritual faith, I think? Faith in God. And the other day we were saying we believe in the God of Daddy because you can pray and you have so much faith. Do you think that's where the foundation was laid from being in that seminary, or that came later on in life?
I am not sure whether it was laid in that place, because I don't believe that everybody who studied there believes it the same way like me.
Right, that's true.
But for me, I've come to learn, and I believe that there is some guide. There is an invisible hand which controls whatever is going on.
Yeah.
That most of the things for you do your best. As long as you know you have done your best, what you get is the best for you at the time. Even if you don't get that which you thought was the biggest objective,
Yeah.
it means God has the reason of why he has given you the second choice.
And it's the best for you.
And it's the best for you. But for me, rather, actually, I have had it, I have witnessed it. There are several times I have made several attempts to do something on my own. And I think, like Jesus said, that if a child asks you for bread, can you give that child something else? So he knows our needs, and that's, for me, I believe that it is quite okay.
Yeah.
When I fail to get something, then it means God has done that decision. Yes.
You don't get anxious.
No, I don't get, and that one, by that way, I think generally I'm managing stress that way. I don't suffer stress because I know my limits, and I do what I can,
You do what you
and I leave the rest to God.
You give the rest to God.
If I miss the plane, I thank God.
Yeah.
There must be a reason.
Yeah, and you've missed the plane quite a few times over the years. Eh?
Yeah, there is one time I missed it, and that one I can give as testimony that
Give it.
I was
it because
able.
of me?
No, not you. I resolved an issue. This was because of I think I missed a flight in the morning in our Mfufu area. When we were going down, the place was flooded. I came to use the Zana side. I found there was a truck of matoke on the road. By the time they cleared that, the UN flight to take me to Chad had gone. Then now I wanted to go. I bought a ticket in Ethiopia Air. But while I was on the plane, there was a problem we had been trying to resolve for changing Kemishomo's passport, Rita, because we had put a wrong name. We had put Rita, and it had been confused. It was not matching with his documents.
Yeah.
So that is what I think happened. In the plane, I was able to land on someone. I was able to land on somebody who was extremely very useful in securing that document which I had been pursuing for quite some time.
So you were supposed to be on that plane at that exact time.
Yes.
You were never meant to be on the other plane.
That's right.
So being anxious or worried that now you've missed this plane would not even be
It would never have helped me. Yes.
But there's another time you missed a plane because of me.
At the time we were in Nairobi with the Kemi Shomo.
You also missed the plane that time.
Yeah, you remember we were outside so speaking, and we talked for a long time. And I'd seen 23. The flight, I thought it was going at 23. But then I think 3 looked like 9. Yeah, 9 sawa satu, like 9. Something, there was a mixture. By the time we went there, we found the plane had gone.
I remember.
But there were many other issues we resolved. Yeah. We visited that area where you had to get accommodation in Nairobi.
Yes.
And
yes, I think we were not agreeing, Kemi and I. Kemi is my sister, and I made a video with her as well, which I will link up here if I've uploaded it first.
Yes.
Yes, but also another time you missed a flight was when you were trying to convince me to put medicine Gulu. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I think you missed it.
I remember, yes. When you said you wanted to become a nurse. Yeah, you wanted
to do nursing. I'd rather put nursing, I mean.
Yes, you wanted to be in, I think, in Makerere University at all costs.
Yeah.
I said, Sissy,
you
want to become a doctor. And it does not matter if you become a doctor from Gulu or from Barara. Instead of changing totally the profession, that now you want to become a nurse.
Meanwhile,
you said you want to become a nurse because you don't want to go to Guru.
Yeah.
Then I was trying to convince you how best that one is for you.
But actually, do you know, you are trying to convince me about my third choice. My third choice, because my first choice was medicine Makerere.
Yes.
Second choice was medicine Bara. Third choice, I said nursing Makerere. I said I'd rather go to Makerere and do nursing than go to Gulu and do medicine.
Yes.
Obviously, now looking back, as an adult, I can see that doesn't make sense. But also, I did not want medicine that much, honestly. I was not dying for it. Initially, I wanted to be a nurse, actually. That's what I wanted to be, and people said no. You
remember there was a time you threatened to become a nutritionist.
I really wanted to be a nutritionist. I wanted to do a course called HND, Human Nutrition and Dietetics, and it was new in Chambogo, I think. Imagine.
Yes.
So I liked nutrition, but in the end now I realized I didn't like nutrition. What I liked mostly was cooking. So
Oh.
I wanted to become a chef in actual sense. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
in food and nutrition, I like the food part of cooking and eating the food more than the other part of nutrition. Eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, then you missed a flight at that time as well. So you were telling us about how you've always had faith in God and things always work out for your good like that, and how that foundation maybe was from, you don't even know where it came from.
Yes. Yeah, but look at the dreams I've had. If I'm being asked whether I've been successful, I think I've been. I see myself as successful. Successful parent and successful in my profession. But looking at where I wanted to be, I had not wished so much to be a police officer. Because what I had in mind around that time was administrative officer, DC, district commissioner. So when I would think about those words as ADC, then as a banking officer, then as a, then I put in my applications for those jobs. And
With officer. And
yes, with the word officer. Now they say cadet. But the cadet assistant superintendent of police was also something which was gaining value because, you know, the NRM government had come to power, and then the first group of cadets had become DPCs. They were given Land Rovers. You could see them driving around. They would come and visit us at the university. So we said, oh, this is serious. You can become a DPC and then you will be such a big person. I ended up joining police, but I said, let me be there for some time. But then I did not think like I should go and put on uniform. Maybe I should be in CID or something else. I went in, I was put in uniform, and I was bearing it. I managed to accept it, but knowing that I would be, that's not where I belonged. Because even the very day I decided I joined, even the very, maybe the second year or third year, I was already doing interviews for some of these jobs, including one time when I went to do interview and I was shocked to find somebody on the panel. There was Uganda Airlines and it had an interview for security officer. Then I wanted to escape from police and go to do the interviews. While we were waiting for the interview, we see one of the police officers come and enter. It was a shocking time, but somehow he had just come for some slight consultation and went back, and we continued with the interview. Yeah, so I kept checking, looking for jobs, and but for me, what I come to realize is that wherever you are will serve as your base. You cannot go anywhere without using the base. And I decided to make the best of where I was, and I would advise everybody to make the best of where you are, because it is where you are that will lead you
to where you want to go.
Where you want to go. If you say you are nowhere, then you will go nowhere most likely. But if you are somewhere, that experience, most of the jobs I've done, I've found people are interested in what you have been doing. What have you done before?
Where you are,
Not even what you have studied. Because there are many people who are running for qualifications. I want to qualify in this. No, it's better do experience, get experience, do something. Then from there you can
add on.
You can add on, and you'll be found somewhere. You'll be found somewhere. Because, you know, when Jesus was looking for the disciples, he picked them doing something. He found fishermen, he found, there's nobody he found nowhere.
Was idle.
No, you are idle, you are idle, you have nothing, then it means you are unmarketable, you may not be useful.
That sounds a bit harsh if someone is out there and they're actually indeed unemployed and they're not doing anything. What can you advise them?
Now, for me, even today I met somebody whom I was telling, he finished BCom the other day. I was telling him, what are you doing? He said, now I have nothing, I'm just doing what? I said, it doesn't sound nice to say you are doing nothing. You have a coffee plantation, they have a coffee plantation, the father, they're harvesting the coffee, and he's participating, they are selling the coffee. I say, at least you earn, get a role in there. Tell your dad to say, for example, you are the salesperson, and you be doing that. At least if you are being recruited, you say, I'm a salesperson, even if it is to some small extent. You are a better person than one who has nothing, who is doing nothing. Yes.
So you have to use your English, I think, as well, because you might be there doing some sales role
Yes.
and you're not using it. Or even if you're a stay-at-home parent and you have a lot of transferable skills that you're doing, time management, working under pressure.
Right,
It's
yeah.
a lot. And then you have to write it in a way that looks like shows really what you're really doing.
It's indeed an
Yeah.
experience. It's an experience, and the experience is better than this paperwork which people run around with. Yes.
Okay. So after you, so actually we hadn't said that are you a police officer now?
No, I worked in the Uganda police for 20 years and retired. That's about 15 years ago. Now I'm working with the United Nations, and I will soon be retiring also. Yeah, I think I'm generally happy. And why we were saying the base, the police worked as a base, because now I'm a security advisor in the United Nations, and I think I'm doing well because of the background I had. I didn't so much admire the initial one
When
of
you
the
were in
police
it.
when I had just started it, but because I earned promotions and I started seeing the respect they were giving me and the positions I held like in the country where I was a high profile and I like in charge traffic in Kampala, like being the spokesperson of the Uganda police. Those were positions which were admired. And, but what somebody asked me was, what was the take home? What were you taking home? It would be stressful a bit because the income was so limited. But it created a base to where I went, where I'm supposed, where I'm able to financially be independent, and I'm comfortable that I have a retirement package, which makes me comfortable. I can live ably at home
So
with my wife. Yes.
You feel like you've had a good life, it sounds like.
Life, yeah, exactly. I have had a good life. If I'm asked, of course, at one time I would admire some people, but then when as I come to mature, you know, when you see the green grass on the opposite side of the fence, you don't know the bill they are paying. So the water bill. So that's why for me, if they asked me, whom would you admire to be like? I find I don't admire any other person to be like that person. You know, there are people you can admire. You say, oh, I would have admired to be maybe the governor of Bank of Uganda, but he's dead. He's not there. So if somebody had all that money and he's dead, for me, I want to be healthy and alive. And among the people living, I find myself,
You're one of them.
I'm the best. I'm living in my best. There is
You're
nothing.
living your best life.
My best life. I'm not
You're fulfilling your
admiring
potential.
my potential. Yes, I'm not admiring anything. I'm not wishing I could have become who or who. Where I am, I'm feeling that's the best of what I could be, and I'm enjoying it to the full. Of course, with you children being around and my grandchildren, and so what else do I want now?
What else do you want? I think Mukama Asimu.
Asimu mnonga.
That's something I've also learned a lot from you is gratitude. Gratitude. Being grateful for all things in all things, whether it looks like it's a good time or it's a hard time, to always be grateful. And also something else that you have said is something that I also relate to, and I read it somewhere and it stuck with me, that if you ever admire someone something, or something about someone, are you ready to take up their whole entire life? Like, do you want to take all their life, that good thing plus all the burdens they have, all the challenges they have, all the traumas they've had? Are you ready to take up everything, not just the good thing you've seen, not just the green grass, but every other thing? Are you happy to take that? Then ask yourself that. So me, when I ask myself that, I'm like, actually, no, I think I'm happy with my own problems. It makes me feel more grateful for my own life and not to envy other people.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, that's true. Because if people were asked to heap all the problems in one place,
Yeah.
and you see what other people are facing,
Yes.
you might rush in to pick your own back. Say,
yes.
for me,
and
I'm
yet
suffering nothing.
And
yes.
yet everyone has some problems.
Yeah, for
and,
sure,
and
yes.
those same people whose problems look like they are so big for you, you may find they are looking at yours as the big ones.
People are admiring you.
Or they are looking at your problems as the bigger than theirs. That's a funny thing also.
Yeah.
So I think we're all having, what we can manage. I think that's how God does it. He won't give you what you can't what you can't manage, He will give you the strength to also carry it.
Right.
So the other thing also was you raised was about being healthy and being fit, which you mentioned briefly about at least you're healthy. Another thing I also learned from you was to be fit and to be healthy and not eat ultra-processed foods. I've made another video about my birthday and 33 lessons I learned from my birthday. And one of them was about ultra-processed food. For me, I've just learned that just this year here. Like,
Yeah.
but you've been singing these things for, tell us.
Yeah.
For you, where also I feel like you've not always been like this also. When I look at pictures, you used to be big, but now
Yes.
you walk how many kilometers, you exercise. So
Yes.
tell us about your health journey.
Of course, the health is the biggest asset we have. The body, this body we have to maintain it. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I read it somewhere about the main components of good health. The four. When you can have sufficient rest, when you do sufficient physical activity, you have seen how I walk.
Yeah, walk like.
Then the diet, what you put in your stomach, and that is it, and what comes out. The last one being the mental, the attitude towards life. How to know that you know your limits, do what you can and leave what you can't. If you have missed something, that is God's plan. Do something else which is in your means. And that's, I think, what I'm working on, and I think
But how
I'm feeling
long?
okay.
Like how long has it been? Because as I said, there are pictures where I used to be big in the past. So I know it has not been like this always. Eh?
Yes.
So what happened? Was there something that happened?
Yes,
Like,
there was a particular point. Initially, I didn't know that it's not physical exercise that reduces the weight. That it would be also what you eat and how you manage it. Because at one time, like when I was in Liberia as an Paul, I used to go to the gym every day. You go to the gym and work out. Then as I go back home, then you find the meal ready, a very big meal, pork ribs, what, think of all those things you can eat. Because you have the appetite, I eat. Then I kept becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. That was the wrong way, and I think later on I realized it's exercise plus what
it's a combination.
what you eat. Yes, and the unprocessed foods are the best.
Yeah.
And where we are in our environment here, you find people going, oh, I want the sausages.
I really
the
do.
sausages. This
I
is
really want sausages.
This is of meat which was from whichever, I don't know when it was.
The tail of the pig.
When it
They use
was,
the
yes,
parts.
when it was killed, we don't know, long time ago, and yet we have fresh animals. See the birds moving around the compound. Then you go to the fridge to get the one from the supermarket. So where you can get things which are natural,
Yeah.
good.
So I'm here visiting from the UK, and I'm really able to appreciate for the first time in a long time. I can actually appreciate all the things you're talking about. Organic food, like I wouldn't want to get those, like fruits are so fresh, everything tastes so much better. So I think it's also a privilege to be in a position to eat those things, because some other people, usually those ultra-processed foods are usually cheaper than real food. So some people kind of find themselves stuck like that, especially out there abroad anyway. I don't know about Uganda.
It's true, I have been to your country, to the UK, and I saw some of the places where they allege they are organic foods, and I see the price tag they put, which really looks prohibitive. They are so expensive, and I don't know whether it is real true that it is that they are processed. Yes, but rather that they are organic. I'm not sure that they are. So for me, in the environment where I am, that's why I like to live in my country here. That's why I don't like to go. If I come to UK, if I come to Canada, it's just because I'm visiting you children, and that is it. I come back here.
Yeah, parents want to come here, but the Mbela Senonji, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but ideally would want to be here, and I think we've talked a little bit about you working in different places, but I think we're going to make another video all about that topic of your job, and do be subscribed and make sure you follow that. But for now, I wanted to ask about me myself, and how I was as a child as far as you are concerned. I don't know if people are interested, but me, I am. So sorry if you're not. Tell me how I was as a child.
I think you were an active child, very active. You remember on Martin Road, you keeping at home, and then you were seeing the child of this neighbor, this Apollo's child. And you wanted to follow. What is the name of the Apollo's girl?
Daniela.
Daniela, you wanted to follow that one. You say, I want to go to school. You actually demanded, probably like myself, I demanded that I want to go to school.
You are wasting my time.
Yes, but for you, you were still very small.
I
But
was
when
2.5 apparently.
Yes, but when you went there, for you, you did not waste time. You continued and you made it in those nursery schools. First, the Good Shepherd.
Yeah.
And the other one at the Pride Theatre
Pride
is which?
Theatre.
It was
It's called Pride Kindergarten.
Pride Kindergarten.
Yeah, because we're living in Old Kampala.
Yes, and then you go to Chitante. Then you switch to City Parents. You know those places, you are doing very, very well, and indeed no wonder of what you became. Yeah. So I really don't have a lot of what, and you are an open child. You say what you want, and what you don't want, you comment. You say why this, why that, and all that, and you are supported. That's, I think.
Yeah, thank you for supporting me. I think if I didn't have that support, it would not be easy for me to go into the world, because I also feel like you always believed in me a lot. So I felt like I had, because sometimes when I have a problem, I would ask you, and then when you tell me that, especially when I'm in a dilemma and I want something, I ask, and always, I don't know if, you always say I will get it. That's the only problem, that you never say that I will not get it. You always say that I will get it if it's something that I really want, like even my scholarship and different things. It's mommy who pushed me to do the applying, but then for you would say, you'll get it. So you have that, I feel like you believe in me, and when you believe in me, then I also believe in myself.
Of course, when you started on the scholarships, you were already mature, and I knew you knew what you wanted. Of course, when you were trying this and it doesn't work, you remember how you nearly cried about Canada, that you want to go to Canada.
Tell us about that story of Canada, because also, do you know you're the one who made me get married when I got married? Yeah.
How? No.
You're the one who encouraged me to more, I think.
I'm not sure. Because for you, what you wanted, you wanted to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And you did some tests, you passed them, and you were supposed to go. Then later on, you discovered that it required a certain type of visa, or you must be a permanent resident there, and you had never been a resident there. So the mistake, in short, was in their system, not with you. Then I told you, just God has liked that. Please, there may be better things than what. Don't cry over that. There must be another plan, and I think it was okay.
So what happened is, yes, I made another video about my Canada confusion, which I'll link up or below, or you can find it on my channel. And yeah, so the thing is that now you came and you called me, and then we were seated in the compound like this actually, but in Kampala. And then I told you about how I wanted to go and do Canada residency, and psychiatry there is 5 years. And then you said, and then you asked me about attend marriage. I said that, what about it? Those were not in my plans at all, by the way. Those were my plans. Yeah. Then you said, you see, maybe this is why God has made it like this, that you have not got this visa, because the visa, they were saying I didn't show roots in Uganda.
Yes.
So saying maybe you need to show roots.
Yes.
Maybe if you get married, you can show roots. You have a reason for why you should stay. And I said, what? Like, I had not really thought about that so much. And then, so it wasn't the only reason. So I made another video again about when I talked about I went to some priest. I'll link it there. It's called When My Life Turned Upside Down, where I talk about this story. So then, one day you asked me about my boyfriend, and I told you, he's there, what? And you said, is it the same one? Because this was after Vanange. It's too much we can talk about. Because I won't ask you, you should tell us about on your side of the story of me and Edward, how it was when we were teenagers.
Yes.
For you, how it was on your side. And then you're like, why didn't you get married? Then I said, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Because I remember I said, I want my kids to have a better life than what I've had. And I felt like my life was so good that I could not afford to have kids and they have a life better than mine, or even similar to the one I was having. So then you told me about how, you think we started like this. We were staying in the barracks. Were you ever in a uniport? I don't think. Were you?
No, it was not an import, but I was in an officer's house in Uganda. okay, maybe I should start in Naguru. For you were born when I were in Uganda. By the way, you were born in Uganda Hospital. The other day,
know.
I passed by it and I thought I should take you and we visit it and maybe you do something for
I
it.
should do something
Yeah,
for
you
it,
donate
Manange.
something small there.
Bambi, yeah.
Yes, we were in Uganda and life was a bit
It was hard,
a
I
bit
heard.
tough. Yeah, but we came out. We came to Masaka.
Yeah.
But even in Masaka, even in that type of life, we were like a model to the other kids who would come to our house because we are the only ones who had a colored TV in the home, and the kids would come to say, "Oh yeah, you look." Yes, and so
Yeah.
it was not an easy life, but
Yeah.
later on, as we grew, for us, we were able to cater for you, and I think we never lacked things to take care
I
of
don't feel like I
yeah.
did, no. And so that encouraged me, because when you asked me how much I was making 2 million. Then after that, you asked me how much was Edward making at the time. He was making like 1 million Nova. Then he said, all that, you told me all that. For me, do you know how much I was making back then? And still you managed to go on and have kids and you managed.
Yes.
So that gave me courage. I was like, okay.
Okay.
maybe I can consider it. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, of course. Now for Edward, of course, you remember when I met him as a boy. And
Where did you meet Edward? What's your memory of when you met Edward?
no, but you know where I first met him. Was it the basement? Or
Yes.
what was it? The
It was the
basement.
basement.
Now you are a girl. You are the girl I believed in and I love, my daughter. So I take you out, for this bachelor's party. Then we are there. Then this a small boy comes and then all of a sudden we are as a family. They tell me, "Oh, Sissy is not with us." I say, "Where is he?" I got a tip that he's seated in a corner, in a VIP corner with a boy. I say, "What?" Then we went to go and saw the boy. I say, "What are you doing here? Why aren't you with the family?" What? Of course, really, I was trying to protect you from the damage. And I said, "Come, join the table." You remember you joined the table, and I probably provided drinks and said, "Let's be together."
Yeah,
But I
actually.
did not want you to be astray, to be away. You know, kids have friends.
Yeah.
But it should be good friendship. The good friendship is that one which you can expose the parents. Because, of course, before our time, we could not talk about girlfriend, boyfriend to our parents. But at the current situation, I feel if somebody was your boyfriend, come and introduce him and we sit with him at the table. Of course, maybe there was reasons why you could not do that. Maybe in our earlier conversations, you had detected that maybe we might not welcome it immediately or something. I don't know.
But
would
you have, because I was 16, this was in S4 VAC.
And in S4 VAC, I think probably I would not have done, I would not have given you a blessing to engage in such a relationship because you are still really very young and you need to concentrate on books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was always the message. Read, concentrate on your books first.
But I admire the way you managed it. And from that time, then you concealed it until much later. You remember that one I gave it in the speech at your wedding. Yeah, how ironically I was protecting you from the person who you came later brought in your life, and that was good. Yes.
So I remember even mommy at my graduation, because I had a graduation dinner, and then I invited Edward and then other people. But then after that she said, "Why didn't I introduce her to him?" Then I was like, how am I going to introduce him when after all these dramas that had happened? But then I guess for you were feeling like that is the right time. But I admire how you are also able to, I think, regulate your emotions. So for instance, in that scenario, that example, then now you found us, but then you brought us and even bought us drinks.
You are still children. You are my children.
But you see, many people would not be like that. So I think it's something that's really good to learn to regulate your own emotions and to not just, I guess not.
I know you are drinking the drinks, but they were not entering the stomach. I don't know whether really, because I wanted you to first be there. Of course, you knew that you had to have time to explain to me later, and maybe that's the discomfort.
That's the thing I also I admire, is that you don't always act very fast or act in anger, because I'm sure you are not happy about it.
I was not, of course.
But you did not in the moment. So I hope I can also get that, because I can try my best, but it's not easy. And also, anyway, my kids are young, but I try, but not to act. Eh? Because at the end of the day, you do something that you regret. Eh?
And you as who have grown up in Europe are more sensitive, because for us it was a bit tougher. That you'd do something, the punishment would be like the cane. Now you can no longer cane the kid. The other day I frowned against Jojo, and she rushed to come and tell you that I'm not happy. Yeah? Because the girl switched on a switch of electricity on and off about 10 times. Then I frowned and said, stop this, it's not good. Now she rushed to report to mommy. Yeah, Jaja is really very harsh and
Very
frowning at
angry.
me, very angry. And yeah, so
Yeah.
they have grown in a different environment.
Yeah.
But as you know, there are certain things which when you have done it, you cannot recover it. You cannot
take it back.
You cannot take it back. So we take that care.
So I guess we've now come into parenting. Are there any advice you have for parents? Or what about, first of all, for yourself? If there was something that if you knew it then, is there something which if you knew it back in the past in your journey of parenting, that if you knew it then, what you know now, what would you change or what would you do differently?
Yeah, I think the children need to be listened to more. They normally have messages, they have certain things they want to say. You listen to them more. But again, at the same time, you need to provide guidance, because some of your siblings have asked, why didn't you force us to do this? Why should I force you? When they have reached a certain age, you don't do what? You don't force anybody to do something. Only you support them. Only you support them in what they want. That's why when you are going into the education system, I would ask, what do you want? What do you want to become? What do you want to become? Apart from yours, when I asked, and then when you had wanted to change into from being a doctor to
Nursing. Nutrition.
Was it nursing or nutrition? It was nutrition.
Yeah, I wanted to do nutrition.
When we had a function here, and I said, if you don't want to become a doctor, maybe I would want to excuse you from this party. You remain in Kampala. You remember that?
No, I don't. I don't
No, there was that one when you were still in Kampala. We were already here. I think that was the housewarming for here. And then you said, no, for me, I'm applying to join nursing and something like that. I said, if you are doing that, you sound not a serious girl. Maybe we can excuse you from participating in our party, which we had this side. But good enough. Of course, that one sounded harsh, but because you see why it came all of a sudden, because we had been trying for your university education for medicine in the UK, a number of universities, and you had done tests and you were passing them well. So I felt, how does one change overnight? What is this?
I wanted to do pharmacy also, maybe.
Yeah, pharmacy was one of the other things also. And
I wanted to do pharmacy in the UK.
Yes.
Because they gave it to me, actually.
Yes. And did I have objection on that? I don't remember.
Yes, you did. In fact, you're the one who failed me. Because mommy had convinced her now.
Yes.
They gave me pharmacy, I think, in Nottingham University. And we went to talk to some doctors, and they were saying, yeah, pharmacy, they encourage pharmacy, 2 doctors. And then mommy was like, hey, okay, yeah, it sounds good. Then we asked you, you said no. You said, no, you should do the course you want, the course you really want in whatever university you want.
Yes.
But I want to do pharmacy.
You're not a chicken.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's how I ended up doing.
So there was some level of force.
Yes.
Then, of course, yours, and then I think the other one was, the first one was Rita, when she was trying to do LODC, no, not LODC, to do law. She wants law. And then they offered her something in, was it in Nakawa? And then
In hospitality.
Hospitality.
In
And then she says, I'm happy to do that.
because it was on government.
Yes. I said, but for you, if you wanted to become a lawyer, that is the first thing. For me, I want you to become what is your first choice.
But
But
was
not-
it our first choice?
But it had been her, it was her first choice. Her first choice was law. If your first choice is law, don't go to the university because they want to give you a course free. No, I didn't like that. And then I said, no, you will become a lawyer because you wanted it. Then they give her in somewhere, what was it? Something else, procurement
There was
or something.
something, moves.
Yes, in moves. She says, maybe I can take that
She
one.
was going
If
to,
they have,
she was going to search. I remember she was so excited searching hostels and
I said,
things.
if you wanted law, please take what you wanted. The moment you have mentioned it to me that that's what your dream is, mine is to work towards that dream, and not to just go for second choices, people to determine your life because of that. Because for me, I'm the one who grew up from the beginning up to wherever I went. Mine didn't look to be autopiloting. I didn't, but I got where I got. But I wanted those ones who are able to have career guidance from the base, and they are able to go with it. I think that's the best. Get what you want and work for it, and you will get it.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we're going to start to wrap up this video because otherwise maybe too long. I feel like we have gone off track a bit, but I think it's okay. You've given advice to people. Anything else you want to tell other people before we close this video?
No, I'm simply happy that you are managing this and you are doing your videos. I admire the way you have mixed and become, should I say, multidisciplinary. Yeah, you are
Multi-purpose.
multi-purpose. You are making a good parent. You are making a good cook. You are a doctor. You are now, I don't know what we call this, which you are doing.
My content creator.
Content creator. So this is, I think, it's good if one can combine all these aspects in your life. It's just very admirable. Yes.
Of course, I have to thank God for that. I thank God. I'm so grateful, and I thank God for you people who gave me that good foundation. I think, yeah, because as I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and also for providing for me, and also always being there for me in all situations. Even up to now, when I'm 33 years old, I thought it would have ended. What about you? Did you think it would have ended by now?
Hey,
Because now, even at that time when I was going to give birth to Micah, this boy had to come.
you remember, for me, I thought actually we would have finished these responsibilities some long time ago. You remember when I allocated Cyrus, that Kemi, because Kemi was going to finish earlier, and then Kemi would sponsor the education for
Of Cyrus.
Cyrus. Yes, that was my thought, that the money would be already there.
But
Yes.
then here you are still. We are sorry, we are not about to.
No,
I mean, I don't even know what to say
No,
because
you are okay. You are managing yourselves.
I just hope that we can do the same for our children and our children's children and yeah, carry it forward. And really, we thank God.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Bye.
Bye-bye.